Isn't it so crazy that feminism does the exact opposite of empowering women? It is not giving you freedom, it is actually silencing you.
I am not a feminist. Let me explain. Equality means giving everyone the same resources and treatment, assuming we are all the same. But equity recognizes that some of us face more barriers, disadvantages, or responsibilities than others.
Women's suffrage is a long story of hard work and heartache crowned by victory.
Women throughout the country are committed to winning these rights for themselves.
I do.
Feminism changed the world. The right for women to vote, access to education, protection from workplace discrimination, reproductive rights, and law against domestic abuse. None of these changes actually happened automatically. They exist because a generation of women fought for them. And because of this, today we see that women are breaking records in education, in politics, business, as well as culture. However, we have noticed that something strange is actually happening as well at the same time. Feminism, a fight for equality, has become a target of mockery, outrage, and fatigue online. Online misogyny is becoming mainstream again. Influencers are pushing traditional gender roles, and women's rights are being challenged. A few years ago, the internet was telling women to become CEOs. And now, the internet is telling women to bake bread, be soft, submit to their husbands. Millions of people, all of us, literally, are watching women post videos about being traditional wives. We are watching women post about traditional femininity, homemaking, modesty, marriage, and they are leaving behind modern feminism. The anti-feminist movements are growing across social media. They are painting feminist movements as dangerous, very extreme, and even unnecessary. So I'm just wondering, what exactly happened? How did we get here? And why does it feel like the internet, as well as part of the society, is now turning against feminism? Why are the trad wives suddenly everywhere? Why are some women rejecting feminism? And is feminism actually declining? Hi, my name is Cecy K, and today we are breaking down the modern backlash against feminism. But first, let's start with the history of feminism. Feminism is divided into waves, and the first wave of feminism began in the late 1800s and 1900s. At that time, most women in most countries couldn't vote, they couldn't own properties, they didn't have access to higher education, and they couldn't fully participate in public life. So this early wave mainly focused on legal rights for women. One of the biggest movements was women's suffrage, and this was a fight for the right to vote. In countries like the United Kingdom, the United States of America, suffragists organized protests, marches, hunger strikes, and civil disobedience. Some were arrested. Others were violently attacked, but eventually the movement succeeded. During the 20th century, women across the world gradually gained voting rights, and that changed politics forever. And then came the second wave of feminism during the 1960s and the 1970s. This expanded feminism beyond the voting rights. So women began challenging workplace inequality, unequal pay, reproductive gender roles, domestic expectations, and a lack of reproductive freedom. This era pushed the ideas that are now considered normal. These are ideas such as women having careers, that you and I are able to go to work, are able to follow or pursue a certain career, legal protection against discrimination. If you're being discriminated in workplace, you're protected, you can sue the company, access to contraception, and also conversations about sexual harassment. So during this time, the slogan, "the personal is politic," became central. So feminists argued that issues that are happening in the home, in relationships, in workplaces, were all connected to a larger system of power. This second wave of feminism also faced a lot of criticism. Many people argued that it focused heavily on middle-class white women while ignoring class, race, and global inequality. It's these criticisms that shaped a new wave of feminism. Now, the third wave of feminism emerged in the 1990s. Now, this generation of feminists focused mainly on diversity, identity, and intersectionality. Intersectionality is the idea that gender inequality overlaps with race, sexuality, disability, class, and other forms of discrimination. This third wave of feminism also challenged rigid ideas about feminism itself. It centers around the idea that women could be ambitious, they could be feminine, they could be outspoken, they could be emotional, sexual, or career focused without those things canceling each other out. This wave was heavily shaped by the media and early internet culture. And so feminism became global and decentralized more than ever before.
Women can't have as much rights as men because Christ wasn't a woman. Well, where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? He came from God and a woman. Man didn't have nothing to do with it. If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down all alone, well, these women here together ought to be able to turn it back and get it right side up again.
There are some young men who dream of having power so they can abuse that power.
Oh, yeah.
And there are young women who dream of having power so that they will no longer have to be abused. And that is the ultimate divide. Is that a young man gets to grow up and go, I can't wait till I have power because I can do whatever I want and no one will stop me. And a young woman goes, once I have power, I won't have to worry about anyone using theirs against me.
I am a feminist. And when I looked up the word in the dictionary that day, this is what it said. Feminist, a person who believes in the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes. More of us should reclaim that word. My own definition of feminist is, a feminist is a man or a woman who says, yes, there's a problem with gender as it is today, and we must fix it. We must do better.
Then came what we call the fourth wave of feminism. Now, this is the wave that most people recognize today. And one thing that I've realized with the internet culture is that we have forgotten what feminism was about and why feminism started in the first place. And this one is deeply connected to social media. There are a lot of social media feminists out there. Topics like consent, toxic masculinity became mainstream conversations. At the same time, social media also changed feminism in another way. It made the backlash even bigger.
If you're a feminist, or you don't think women should be in the kitchen, because I do think they should be in the kitchen. Yes, I'm looking at you, Ms. Glasses. Women should definitely be in the kitchen.
Hello, my name is Paulina. So I have a question. So earlier, I heard you say that you don't believe that women should have the right to vote. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so I want to go to medical school. I'm pre-med. I'm a freshman. And I'm just curious about what your opinion is on a lot of women that want to go to medical school or higher professions, law school, and what you think about that.
Sure, have your profession, but you shouldn't vote.
Over the last few years, anti-feminist content has exploded online. For every voice speaking up on equality, a chorus replies with sarcasm, resentment, or outright hate. Some see modern feminism as too loud, and others think it has gone too far. The United Nations recently warned that online manosphere is pushing misogynistic ideas into the mainstream. Around a quarter of countries surveyed, a backlash against feminism and gender equality was noted.
Research out last week found that over a third of young men agree with misogynistic attitudes, and 40% believe that women lie about domestic and sexual violence.
And so some influencers are actually blaming feminism for declining relationships, loneliness among men, economic struggles, changing family structures. And because the algorithm rewards outrage, this message is actually spreading so fast. And so the internet actually makes these conversations way more extreme than real life. Outrage actually performs better online. And gender debates creates endless engagement.
Here are some reasons on why I consider myself a trad wife. And if you can hear that, that's my husband in the garage working. I think one obvious thing that makes me a traditional wife is that I submit to my husband and he's the leader of this household. Cheers. I do most of the cooking and cleaning and making the house a home, and he does the providing and protecting. He provides the house, which I get to call home, everything in it, which I get to use to make it a home. He provides the food that I get to make into meals. We're a team. I straight up love when he treats me like a delicate, beautiful, cherished flower. I don't lift a finger, he carries everything, he opens my doors, he pays for everything.
Now, we are also noticing the rise of the trad wife trend. The man provides financially, the woman focuses on the home, cooking, children, femininity, and traditional relationship roles. Now, technically, if you think about it, traditional homemaking isn't new at all. What's actually new is the way it's being heavily marketed online. And honestly, a lot of content on trad wives actually looks very much appealing. Beautiful homes, slow mornings, fresh bread, gardens, soft music, no corporate burnouts, no hustle culture. And compared to modern work culture, it can really look peaceful. It's almost like an escape fantasy, and I think that's the key. The trad wife trend didn't just appear randomly. It exploded after years of people feeling exhausted, burnt out, overworked, and financially stressed. A lot of young people, especially the millennials, grew up hearing work hard, build your career, become independent, and hustle nonstop. And then the reality hit. Housing became unaffordable, wages stagnated, everything got expensive. People became lonelier. So now there is this growing romanticization of simpler living. And trad wife content taps directly into that feeling. It says you don't need to compete. You don't need to hustle. You can slow down. For some women, that message feels comforting, especially after years of hyperproductivity culture. However, this is where things get complicated. Some trad wives openly say feminism lied to women, that modern feminism pushed women into careers they never wanted in the first place. That women were told that success meant working constantly instead of building families. And online, you will hear arguments like women were happier before, feminism destroyed family structure, and that modern dating got worse because of feminism. So that message has really become popular online, especially amongst conservative influencers and the manosphere. Here's the interesting part though. A lot of trad wife influencers are not fully living the traditional lives. They're running businesses, building personal brands, they're making money online. Some are full-time content creators who are earning massive incomes from sponsorships and platforms, which creates a very weird contradiction. They promote living modern work culture while succeeding inside modern internet capitalism. And critics point this out all the time. Because if you look at it historically, feminism wasn't about forcing women to work corporate jobs. It was about choices, the ability to choose education, careers, financial independence, homemaking. So you literally had a choice. And before feminism, women didn't have these options. Now, why the backlash?
Independent financially and all those things, and I kind of pursued my career for a really long time. I pursued my academics for a really long time. I really appreciate all of that, but I think as you get older you realize how unfulfilling all of those things are, and when you're sold that dream for a really long time, you're so convinced that that can't wait, and you're so convinced that marriage, kids, and becoming all of those things that are more traditional can wait, when really biologically it's the other way around. So for me, I would say it's been a mistake.
Feminism sold us the biggest scam of our generation. They told us we were empowered, but what did we actually get? Burnout, debt, stress, a double life where we work like men and still carry the entire home on our backs. And here's the truth nobody's talking about. Feminism didn't set women free. It trapped us in a masculine system that we were never designed for. They told us to compete with men, to lead like men, to talk, think, act like men, and now we're exhausted, we're disconnected, resentful, and wondering why nothing feels right.
A lot of experts are saying that this feminism backlash is actually tied to a wider social instability, such as economic pressure, housing crisis, rapid culture change. And history actually shows something very important. Whenever society changes quickly, there's always a reactionary movement trying to restore all the social norms. Feminism became one of the biggest symbols of social change. And so naturally, it also becomes one of the biggest targets. But is feminism really falling? Here's the thing though, even with the rise of trad wives, feminism itself has not disappeared. Most women still support equal rights, education, workplace protection, reproductive freedom, and financial independence. What I've seen that is really changing is how the younger generations define success and identity. Some women genuinely want traditional family roles, others don't. And feminism originally argued that women should have the freedom to choose either path. Now, tension starts when online movements frame one lifestyle as morally superior to the other. And that's when the conversation stops being about choices and starts becoming ideological again. Is feminism still necessary? Do we still need feminism?
My favorite thing to hear from someone is, I'm not a feminist because feminists are too extreme. And the reason why I love hearing that is because immediately I know that you don't read. Let me tell you why, because the meaning of the word feminist is somebody who believes in the equal rights of the sexes. So for everyone that loves to say, no, I'm not a feminist, I want you to know that what you're actually saying is that you believe that women should be put under. What you're actually saying is that you believe that women are less important than men and should be treated as such.
When a local footballer is convicted of rape and the town shuns his victim while writing character references for her rapist. When many women complain about a doctor and the hospital does nothing. When the Prime Minister calls a powerful advocate for women's rights difficult. When police tell a terrified woman to cool off and give her estranged husband a break days before he burns her to death. When Aboriginal women report violence to police and are misidentified as the perpetrator. When women stay in violent relationships rather than risk homelessness and poverty because the government has failed to invest in affordable housing. When more than 70% of workplaces still have a gender pay gap favouring men. When we can't find money for women's refuges, legal services, sexual assault counsellors and recovery centres, but we can always find money for war. When bombing a girls' school does not cause outrage, but speaking against it does.
Now, supporters of feminism are arguing that feminism is still necessary today, and this is why. Gender violence still exists. Workplace inequality still exists. Reproductive rights are still debated in parliaments, in societies, communities, everywhere, on social media, and online misogyny is increasing. Critics argue that feminism has already achieved its original goals, or that it has become too politically extreme. And that disagreement is actually shaping the culture and politics, as well as education and even dating dynamics online. From suffragettes in the early 1900s to Gen Z's debates happening on TikTok, today, feminism has never been one single movement. Every generation reshaped it. Every generation fought over what it should become. And every generation faced backlash. So the real question may not be why is feminism under attack, but maybe it should be what happens when society changes faster than people are comfortable with. But what do you think? I'm interested in what you think. Do you think feminism has evolved in the right direction? Or do you think it has lost touch with its original goals? Do you think the trad wife trend is empowering? Or is it just old gender roles that are being rebranded for social media? So let me know in the comment section. If you like this conversation, do not forget to hit like and subscribe. I'll see you again in my next video. Bye!